All right, so greetings to everyone. I hope my audio and video must be coming all fine. Just give me a quick response. All right, perfect. So let's get started with today's session. Finally, today we are going to learn on how you can, execute the attacks onto a lot of stuff right there. We are going to explore a lot of vulnerabilities today, and we are also going to learn them, and we are going to do a detailed demonstration of them today. But if any one of you is watching this session live, or if any one of you is watching this as a recording session after it is being uploaded onto the dashboard, then now it's 3:18 right now. I'm going to take a quick doubt session for next 5 minutes, and then we are going to get started with today's class. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask, and then we'll proceed further with today's session. Okay, Dibanshu, I believe you must have got the WhatsApp link over your email. You must have got an email from the team. If you haven't yet got it, please ping me on Instagram, and there I'll be sharing you the WhatsApp group link of this class. My Instagram username is Saksham the Computer Guy. Hi, Yovi. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask. Else, today is the day, finally, when we are actually going to learn that how you can attack onto the different web applications. And also, sir, can we perform attacks which will be taught in today's class on HackerOne and BugCrowd? If I tell you honestly about it, then no, you cannot, because you can definitely I know that you guys are really excited about executing the attacks, but since we have really evolved onto the next level related to cybersecurity, which means these attacks that I'm teaching you right now will again build your fundamental. But when we'll proceed further, when we will be moving on to some extra level of attacks or the advanced level of attacks, then you'll be able to execute them on HackerOne and BugCrowd. But don't worry, the attacks that I'll be teaching you in some time from now, because these are the fundamental attacks, right? Some of them you'll be able to execute, some of them you won't be able to execute, because they don't exist much, but they'll be building your fundamental. Also, they are included into the OWASP top 10. So if you are going to show up in any of your interviews, then these attacks will be really helpful for you. Once we'll be done covering this DVWA lab, then I'll tell you when to execute the attacks and where you gotta have to execute the attacks. I can take this guarantee that if you are going to follow me along this course, I'm going to take out your, I'm going to take out your course fee at least. I'm pretty sure about that. So just keep an eye on here. Sir, will you demonstrate any attack using Wireshark? So basically, Soil, we don't execute any attack using Wireshark. Wireshark is just used to analyze the packets. Yes, you can do these kind of attacks on the companies that are allowing, or they are giving the testing parameters on to the HackerOne or BugCrowd. Quickly ask doubts, just 4 minutes more, and then we are going to get started with today's session. One more command in case if you wish to see that what you have fired into your terminal, then you can go ahead and write down a command that is named as history, and you'll be able to see that what are the commands that you have been firing continuously into your past. All right, so attacks. All right, one more thing, quickly ask, and then we are going to start today's session. Till the time, make your machines ready, make your DVWA ready. Is there any attack on API? Yes, there is an attack on API, but not right now. I believe it will take around 4 sessions. In 4 sessions, I'll make you complete. I'll make you, I'll address you everything about this basic level of lab, that is DVWA. Then we'll be moving on to the advanced level. There you will be able to, talk about tokens, JWT tokens, especially. We are going to breeze them because, JWT attacks are really one of my favorite one. And also you will be able to breeze the APIs as well with the help of JWT attacks. But some of these attacks will be working onto a lot of your domestic websites. I'm pretty sure about that. Roughly, how long does it take to find a bug on website? See, if you have completed the advanced level, then I believe you'll be able to find a bug into the starting days. You'll be able to find at least one bug in every 7 to 10 days. That's the minimum bar. How to delete any command line from Kali? You cannot. Okay, I'm still trying to connect my Apache services. Sudo service Apache to start. Okay. By mistakenly, I wrote my IP address in there. Okay, so no, MySQL isn't needed to be start. How to attack if zero auth or same kind of security framework is in the backend. You'll be amazed to find that even the zero auth was also compromised. So you can definitely go ahead and try that. Unable to connect to database. I guess I'll have to do a quick tweak. Only Apache services will work. No need to start MySQL. Let's see if I'll be able to connect to my database. Okay, database has been created. Setup successful, asking me to log in. Let's go ahead and log in. Okay, I'm not seeing much doubts. So let's get started with today's session. And in today's session, first of all, we are going to learn about the command injection. One of the finest vulnerability that we used to find into the old times, but definitely you can find them up into these times only. Because what happens then, when you go ahead and try to find the bugs into big MNCs, then they have a big team out there and they are definitely updated. So which means they have been messing around with these kind of attacks and these kind of things from quite a long time, which is why they are now developing the secure applications. But still, a lot of advanced attacks are still there working. But if you are doing an audit for any of your client or any of your local client, like suppose you have got a private client of yours, or if you are planning to open up your cybersecurity company, or if you are planning to take a tender of any web application testing or these kind of things, clients is what you're taking for. Because even if you're staying in India, or even if you're staying globally anywhere in this world, if you have a payment gateway integrated into your website, then they won't give you the API of the bank for that payment gateway if your security audit isn't done, right? So in order to do the security audit on a corporate level, there is one main benchmark that you need to test, that even we have taken that first of all, you gotta have to take a 27001 ISO certified. So your company should be certified from that. And then the next thing is that you gotta have to take the certification of CERT for your company, that is Computer Emergency Response Team. So this CERT is available in all the countries. So you gotta have to connect with them, and in order to get the certification from them. So you need to gather these two things if you are planning to open up a cybersecurity company, or even if you are working in any one of them. So these are the required things, and then you'll be able to easily take the clients on the basis of cybersecurity testing, or you can say the penetration testing, the exact word. Okay, so today we are going to complete command injection. Today we are going to complete CSRF, that is cross-site request forgery. Now this CSRF is one of the attack that you can try on any of the website or related to HackerOne or Bugcrowd. Okay, let me teach you CSRF today. So because I know you guys are really excited to execute these kind of attacks on Bugcrowd and these kind of places as soon as possible. So CSRF is still available or into today's date. Command injection is available onto the local pen testing clients. And then also let's go ahead and talk about the file upload vulnerability. So today we are going to execute 3 attacks. First one is command injection. So let's go ahead and try for the command injection. So if we talk about the command injection, like what is the use of command injection and how does the command injections are helpful for finding the bugs. So basically there are few fundamentals. Okay, one thing more that I observed that I gotta have to I'm planning to make the notes side by side, though I'm providing you the resources into the PDF and the PPTs. But in order to bring a more transparency, I would love to note down everything whatever I'm teaching you right here. So today we are going to talk about command injection, right? So command injection is done with the help of arbitrary commands. So what are arbitrary commands, you may ask? Because today if you are going to learn about the command injection, then into the upcoming days you will be able to exploit the servers with the help of command injection, because command injection is directly a server based attack. So into the upcoming classes you will be learning the advanced level of these attacks. For in order to make the fundamental of this low level of attack, you're gonna have to learn this, and then you can move ahead with the advanced level, right? So arbitrary commands are what? Arbitrary commands are related to the operating system, right? Like for example, if it is all the commands that are just helping your operating system to run, they are basically called as the arbitrary commands. For example, you are just playing around with your file management and these kind of things, right? But what are the things like what we can do from command injection? There are certain things that you can do from command injection, is that you can get a reverse connection using OS commands. Now this seems interesting. When I talk about getting a reverse connection of the operating system, that means you're practically getting the shell of that server, right? I'm pretty sure this might be sounding a little interesting to you. Getting the whole command prompt, or you can say the terminal of that website, could be really, really happening for anyone out there. So this is one thing that you can do, which is why command injection is called a very high level of vulnerability, and you find them often onto the websites. And what you can do after that, you can also upload shell using wget command. Like it is the command that by which we can download these kind of shells, and you can just upload them onto those servers. But right now our main motto, because this will be highly exploitable, but right now today our motto is, in order to get the reverse connection of the operating system where my website is hosted. Now in this scenario, you need to understand that this website is hosted this website, suppose let's say this is DVWA. This is one of the website, let's say, that we have hosted into our server. Now in this case, server is nothing but a machine that is helping out to you can say to serve your website over the internet, or maybe over your local host, right? So like you have the hosting, we have hosted this DVWA onto our local website, which means the websites that are getting hosted in there, these hostable files are there into the OPT folder, right? So let's go ahead and find the OPT folder in here. So this will be acting as a files for the server into our DVWA lab. So here is our OPT folder. Okay, not OPT folder, it's gonna be in var. If you have been downloading the XAMPP or any third party, then it must be in OPT. Into the var, we all know it's there into the www directory, right? So here is our www directory. Inside that we have HTML, and inside now what I can say that, like, you have the www directories into your hosting panels as well. If you'll try to host any website, you'll see a public directory. If you'll drop anything into your public directory, that will be eventually showed onto the website, you can say, right? So in that case, this www directory is right now public because we have started our Apache server and we have also started our MySQL server, which means our Apache and MySQL server is hosting this folder where onto our localhost IP address. Now, I hope this Windows update doesn't comes up deliberately, but let's see. Okay, so like I was talking that, we have started our Apache services and MySQL services, and they are getting hosted onto a website. In this case, this website is a localhost. Localhost is what? Allocated IP addresses that is already there inside your operating system, where you can host any of your website that has a backend as well, right? So in this case, we have MySQL as a backup, right? So which means these are the server related files, right? Now we are looking to penetrate inside our DVWA file, right? So in case of scenario, if we talk about the server, then you can see that these are the files in our scenario, are the files that are hosted over the servers, you can say. Now, which is hosting DVWA. DVWA, like I explained, that it is hosted onto your local host. So these files are all there that are responsible for hosting your DVWA. These are PHP files and different kind of files. Now, what we'll try to do, what we'll try to achieve from this attack, we will try to get the access of all of these directories from our terminal, right? And for that, we are going to catch a connection with the help of a vulnerability that is related to command injection that is there into the DVWA, right? So what happens into the command injection? Let's go ahead and jump back to our DVWA. So let me open up my Firefox, and like you can see that my DVWA is right here. Now, before you go ahead and start using any of the vulnerability, you're gonna have to check out your DVWA security, because right now you can see the username is admin, security level is impossible. Now, what is the funda beside this impossible security level? That they'll also tell you that which when you'll click on this view source, they'll also tell you that what is the right way to code this website into the most secure way. Now, like I told you into the ethical hacking, there are two types of team. One is the red team, and the second one is the blue team. So the work of red team is just to report them that what kind of bugs that are there available onto your website and that they need to be fixed, right? And now the work of blue team is that they are going to make a report in which they are going to tell them that you must have used the wrong way of programming, which is why these vulnerability are existing, and this is the right way of coding something, right? So we are going to breach out. I'm going to show you that what kind of flaws are there into their programming part as well, and I'm going to show you that how to execute these kind of attacks as well. Now, you need not to be scared if you are not having any prior experience with programming, because I'm going to tell you about the basic flaws and the logics, because you just need to understand the logics. Because being an ethical hacker, if you'll try to learn all the programming languages, then it will be a really bizarre out there, right? So in this case, first of all, like I told you, the security level is impossible right now. We are going to go ahead and change the security level. Where it is going to be there? It is going to be here into the DVWA security section that is onto your left hand side. Now, if I click on DVWA security, we are going to breach 3 levels. There are 3 levels that are defined by DVWA. The first one is low level of security. The second one is medium level of security. And the next one is high level of security. We are going to breach all of these 3 levels. And then I'm going to show you that why impossible level is not getting breached, because they have written the most settled way in order to code a secure website, right? So right now, let's go ahead and click on low level of security. And let's go ahead and submit this. Right now we are onto the low level of security. In the end of this section, I'm going to tell you that how to do a brute force, and I'm going to give you that as an assignment after giving you an idea that how you can solve this brute force attack. But today we are going to solve command injection, CSRF, and file upload vulnerability, because there are high chances that you can find CSRF attacks on HackerOne and Bugcrowd, and file upload vulnerability as well. So now if we talk about the command injection, so let's go ahead and click on command injection. Now it says that there is a vulnerability that is named as command injection. And also it is asking you to enter your IP address to see if you can go ahead and ping your system from this box that is being mentioned in here. Now you'll say, hey, how to find this out into the real world scenario? Now, what you're going to see, you're going to check into the developers option if you're getting any kind of connections from there or not. Because there are a lot of boxes into the website. One of the most favorite part of me as a beginner was to find a lot of boxes onto the website, because input field are the one-way gateway for all the hackers. That's what I wanted to tell you from quite a long time. Because if you have the input field, like I told you into the starting, you get the pathway to penetrate something that can be accepted by the server onto this authentication button, whether it is a search box or whether it is any kind of form or anything like that. You're going to go ahead and even into the search box, you're going to write the IP address. Like for example, you're going to go ahead and write there as a ping and then your IP address, and then you're going to see that if you are getting any kind of response in there from the server, or if you're getting a ping back from the server. If you're getting a ping back from the server, then hooray. Basically your web app is not responding in this case. In this case, the server of the web app is responding, which is definitely not at all worthy out there. It should not happen, like we all know. So in order to go ahead and write my IP address, what I'm going to do is that first of all, I'm going to find out the IP address of this machine. So go into the terminal and let me go ahead and clear a lot of these commands that I've written here. Okay. So now I'm going to find my IP address. In order to find your IP address, ipconfig in Windows and ifconfig onto the Linux machine. So if I'm going to write here as ifconfig and I'm going to hit enter, then you can see that my IP address is 192.168.1.2. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write the exact IP address. You can also try one more thing. For example, you can host your DVWA machine over your Windows operating system, and then you can try attacking onto this DVWA machine from your Kali machine. It depends totally, but it's all about the logic. You need to understand that right now we are not hosting our website. We are hosting this DVWA platform onto our local host. So now you can see that you have 192.168.1.2. If you'll go ahead and fire this command into the real life scenario, you cannot just write down the IP address. You'll have to write down the ping as well. And then you'll have to see into the developers options if you're getting any response as a response from their website. Now, in order to check the responses, now you already know that what to do into the bub suite and what to do into the developer section of Mozilla Firefox, because you can check the responses in both the ways. We have learned that pretty well into our previous classes. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try to ping my IP address. In this case, it is already just asking me to enter the IP address. I'm telling this to you again. If you're trying to fire these kind of things into the search box or any other input field that is there available onto the website, then you'll have to write ping as well. So in this case, my IP address is 192.168.1.2. So I'm going to go ahead and ping this over a full screen. So .1.2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on submit. So now what you can see is that you can successfully see that you are getting a response from the website. You can say you're getting a ping back basically. Very easily you're getting a ping back, and that ping back is 192.168. 64 bytes have been exchanged right here, right? So in this attack, we have successfully achieved that, you are able to get the ping back from the website, but your work is not yet done here. If you're getting a ping back from the website, which means the server is responding, this also means that if you'll fire any other command, which I told you into the starting, that these are the arbitrary commands. So basically, with this arbitrary command, you can find another arbitrary command. For example, this was just to ping an IP address. What if you're going to go ahead and write the Linux commands that I've told you, that is ls. So if you're going to go for ls, or if you're going to go ahead and write here as PWD, that is present working directory, you'll be able to see that where exactly are you staying right now when you're getting the response from the server, right? So again, I'm going to go ahead and clear this up. So I'm going to tell you one more thing that is really important out there is how to fire two commands at a time, right? So that is again really important out there. So let's go ahead and try to test this thing into a terminal right now. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go ahead with ls. You can list the directories. Likewise, you can also go ahead and find the present working directories, like I'm right now in home section. But what if I want to fire both of these commands at the same time, right? So what if I go ahead and go ahead with ls and write the pwd as well, right? So right now you can see there are a lot of methods of piping. This is one of the method to use the sign and do the piping. You can also go ahead and go with ls, and this is how you do the piping, right? So these are the two signs that are responsible for firing two commands at a time. And also I told you while updating, there was also one more sign, that is an end, that is end operator, you can say. And like this also you can fire two commands at a time, right? So these are the three methodologies how you can fire the three commands at a time into your terminal, right? So let's go ahead and try all of them. So if I go ahead and go with the end operator, you can see I'm getting the output for both of the both of the commands that are fired into my terminal. That is my present working directories are right here as well. And you can see that hack.exe is okay. This is the name of the file, and this directory name is also right here, right? Another methodology that I have told you in order to fire two commands at a time was piping. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use the piping command right here, and I'm going to fire this command again. If I hit enter, then what happens into this piping command is that into the piping, it is not going to show you the output of two commands. Like, you can see into the ls, with this command, you are able to get two outputs. With the end operators, you are able to get two output as well. But in this case, you can see the piping is going on. So piping into the piping methodology, what happens is that it is going to ignore the first command, and then it is going to execute piping with the piping methodology. It is going to execute the final command, or you can say that it is going to give you the final output, you can say. So now we have understood these methodologies in order to fire two commands at a time. And now you can say we can do these kind of stuff in here, because we are getting a response from the server, which is really bad part out there into any kind of application in there, right? Okay, right. So now you can see that I have done the piping of the IP address very easily right here, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and find out that, into the terminal, I was, revolving around my home directory. But if we talk about this server, then let's see where exactly I'm inside the server right now by dropping off some commands into this input box, right? So I'm going to, go ahead and fire two commands at a time. That is 192.168.1.1. And now I'm going to do the piping thing in here. So I'm going to write here as a PWD. So when I go ahead and fire PWD command, and if I try to submit, because it is working with the ping, if it is working with the ping, that is one of the arbitrary command of the operating system, then it should also work with my second command as well, that is called as PWD, right? So if I go ahead and submit this, so like I told you that that www directory that I've addressed is now my server. So inside that server, like I'm just going to show you a quick difference in here. So if I write pwd here, you can see that I'm into the home directory, and from the perspective of server, I'm into this directory. That is where I told you my server is hosted, www directory, html, dvwa, vulnerabilities, exec. So this is where I am right now. So now this is really scary to see, because right now I can go ahead and pull in with a cd command. I can change my directories. I can download these directories. So if I'm going to download this directory, which means I'm going to download the whole database. So this is what exactly the command injection. So people go ahead and try to, they try to stick in with this command injection onto a lot of places. They try to, parse these command over the APIs. over the input box, by intercepting these kind of requests, and by putting them into the head request. So basically we just need a way to penetrate our commands and our methodologies, and you can penetrate them anywhere, wherever it is working. So ethical hacking is definitely a hit and trial thing, because you're going to do a hit and trial of these kind of attacks at a lot of places, in which at some of the places it is going to work, right? So this is the one thing that we have observed while firing two commands in here. But now the interesting part is that we have got the you can say connection inside this web app that is being hosted onto my local host. But what if I want to get the access of this whole thing inside a shell, right? So basically I can create a shell easily, right? So in order to create a shell, I'm gonna have to fire a lot of things right there. And for that, you're gonna have to understand that what are netcat services as well. So netcat services are the Linux based services that are usually open. And if they are open, then only your Linux is going to get hosted in there, right? So now this is a very basic level of attack. You don't find it anywhere much these days, but by applying the logic, you can find the higher level of server based attacks, right? So you just need to understand the logic in there in this attack. You're going to have to try it once into your DVWA, and then I'm going to connect the dots from here into the higher level of attacks, because today I'm also going to teach you the file upload vulnerability. But what if that file upload vulnerability you're not finding anywhere, that file upload vulnerability you're not finding it, but what if I merge the XSS attack with the help of file upload vulnerability? So you can execute two attacks at a time as well, right? With a combination of two attacks, you make attacks bigger and you make them execute, right? So it is not a fixed thing. Make sure you don't put this thing in your mind, then you are just going to try and hit one kind of attack. You can also connect the dots of two attacks by connecting the logic that yes, I can merge these two attacks in order to exploit it this way, right? So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a connection inside my shell. You can say when we talk about MySQL as well, you must have observed that we were working into the MySQL shell, right? We were trying to create a database, and then the shell thing was out there. So you can create a shell. Shell is nothing, but that's just a workspace that you get the access of inside your terminal, and later on you can work into that program and you can do a lot of things out there, right? So in order to function that smoothly, you get the connection of that shell inside your terminal, and you can keep on firing a lot of commands. So it would be great if I make the connection from here to my terminal, which is going to be really happening out there. So I'm going to make a connection of this web app to my terminal, you can say, which means I'm going to connect my terminal of operating system to the website, to the server of the website where it is hosted. Because I fired one command, but then I lost the connection. The connection is closed because the output is right here. They have shown us the output. The output is right here, right? Then the connection is closed. I don't want to do that. I want to make the connection, and I want to maintain that connection so that I can keep on firing a lot of commands. I can do pretty much anything after that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'll try to activate my netcat services. So make sure you write these commands, or I'm going to write it for you on how to make you can say how to start your netcat services. So like the Apache services are there. I told you into the Linux, you have netcat services. Into the Windows operating system, you have different services out there. But first of all, you'll have to figure out, like I told you, into the information gathering, you'll have to figure out that which type of server it is. Is it a Linux based of server, or is it a Windows based server? I believe from my experience, I want to share you that in my life, I've seen into the 80 or 90% of the cases, people have been using the Linux server. And, because they consider Linux as one of the most safest thing out there, which is why they have been using the Linux server, right? And also the second reason is Linux is cheaper. When you go ahead and try to find out the hosting, or if you go ahead and try to buy the hosting of Linux server, it is quite cost effective, because the single you can say the single operating system of Windows is coming up for like 150 or $200, whereas you can say that the Windows Linux OS is coming for almost free, which is why people love to save their cost of the server and operating system as well, which is why they have been using the Linux as well. And Linux is definitely much more, you can say, much more higher into the performance, because it is a lightweight operating system, which is why people are using it. So in order to start your Netcat services, you're gonna go ahead, go into your terminal, and then try this command, that is NC for netcat, -vv for verbose, -l and -p, right? And basically -llp is nothing. I'm just defining the port. We know that we have been hearing from all the services, from all of these kind of services that are making the network or making the connection onto which port. We are making the connections on port 8080, right? So you can see the netcat services is right here, right? So NC-VV-L-P-8080. So this is what you need to fire inside where? Into your terminal, you can say. And to the terminal of Kali, you can fire this. When you go ahead and try to, make the connection in such a way, then definitely you are giving not just the IP address, you're just connecting your whole operating system. So make sure you try this even only onto the website where it is being listed onto the bug crowd and these kind of things, because if you're just connecting a whole operating system, then this is a really bizarre for them. So we are going to learn a lot of extreme attacks like this, but right now these are also the fundamental and the beginner level of attacks that I'm teaching you right here. So NC is for netcat, -vv, verbose, -l and -p for defining the port, and I'm going to write here as port 8080, right? When I hit enter, you can see that my operating system is all started to hear anything out there. If any connection is trying to connect onto my netcat with the help of netcat services, then it is going to allow it, right? One more thing. Now, this is the part that we have done from our terminal, right? This is how, basically, this is just not for hacking. If you are using any netcat services for any kind of purpose, then you gotta have to fire this command, right? And later on, you can connect with a different connection. Basically, a lot of people have been tunneling with the netcat services onto the server-based operating systems. So into the server-based operating systems, you don't see any of this GUI, you can say, or you can say it is graphical user interface. That is the server-based edition of Linux is just running onto the command line, right? So okay, so this part is done, and now I'm going to jump back onto my web app. Now I'm going to fire a command inside this input box that will give the connection of whole server to my terminal, and it's the most disastrous thing that you can imagine, getting the whole server access onto my terminal, and then you can just fire on a freeway into this terminal then, right? So what command I'm going to write there? Okay, so every time it is going to be like this only, because if we talk about the netcat services inside the Linux, you can say, then where actually these netcat services are being hosted. So if I talk about the netcat, then in order to execute this netcat command, you're gonna have to go with netcat -e to execute, right? -e to execute. So now into the Linux, netcat is always hosted inside the bin folder. Now this is defined into the architecture of Linux, that netcat services are always going to be hosted inside the bin folder. This is how the architecture of the Linux is being written, right? So in order to start the netcat services, I'm going to write NC -e to execute, and then I'm going to give the give the destination where I want to connect my Netcat services to. So basically, people have been using the Netcat services to connect them in order to get the maintenance connection and these kind of connections, but they never realize that they are always keeping their Netcat services starting from the fixed directory. So every time this is going to be the directory in all the Linux operating systems for the Netcat services, right? So the Netcat is going to get executed inside the directory where my Netcat is hosted, and all the Linux machines that is hosted into this directory, that is bin sh. And then I'm going to write down the IP address, right? So my IP address that I've written, okay, I'm going to open a new tab. Okay, here is the IP address. So now my IP address is 192.168.1.2. Okay, so I'm going to take doubts after I'm going to be done completing this attack. Okay, so you can see it's right here, and I was talking on to the notepad. So bin sh. Okay, so now I told you I'm going to connect with the Netcat services of my IP address. You can say, or of the, okay, here it is going to be the IP address where your the website is being hosted. Now into the information gathering, I told you that how you can extract the IP address where your you can say your website is being hosted. So in order to see that, you're gonna write down the IP address of the website, right? I repeat, here you're gonna have to write down the IP address. Okay, not the website. Here you're going to write down the IP address of your own operating system, because you're going to make the connection from the web app to your operating system, right? Connection. Okay, I'm going to give a quick explanation into a single liner. A command to fire on website by which we are going to get a connection in our terminal. So a command of our operating system, right? Or a command in which we are going to use IP. Okay, it must be clear to you all by now. So here onto the web app, we are going to fire a command in which we are going to use IP of our operating system to fire onto the website, by which we are going to get a connection into our terminal, right? So this is what we are going to do, which means here what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down the IP address of my OS, right? So just for the quick check, I'm going to be writing here the OS of my operating system, that is 192.168.1.2. All right, let's go ahead and try that. So if I go ahead and write down the same IP address, 192.168.1.2. Okay, just for the purpose, I'm also going to define my port 8080 as well, right? So 192.168.1.2. So this becomes our script, right? This becomes our script to connect from our shell, right? But in case of DVWA, we are going to use the piping methodology, or we are going to fire 2 commands at a time, right? So I'm going to enter my IP address to ping, and side by side, I'm going to fire this command as well, so that I can get a connection of my DVWA web app in here into my terminal, right? So basically, we are treating DVWA as a live website that is running up out there in some server out there that we don't know. So let's go ahead and try this. What we are going to see here. So I'm going to write my simple IP address in here, right? The second command that I'm going to write here is going to be this one: netcat nc for the netcat services -e to execute, and then my IP address. And before writing my IP address, I'm going to also write the directory where the netcat services of all the Linux machines are hosted, that is /bin/sh, right? So I'm going to write here as /bin/sh. And then, of course, the IP address of my operating system. So in this case, it is going to be 192.168.1.2, I believe. I believe this was it. 1.2, right? And then I'm going to define my port in here, right? So I guess it must be more visible to you now. Okay. So I am going to define here as my port 8080. What happens when I go ahead and submit this? Look at here very carefully. So when I submit this, you'll see something happening over my terminal. So if I go ahead and submit this, then let's see what is about to happen. Okay, when I go ahead and try this, you can see one more line showing up that says connect to this IP address from Kali. And now you can see that my port 8080 is busy because I've been running my netcat services on them, and I believe my Apache must be using it. So which is why it has taken some other port, that is 41242 in this case. So now you must be wondering that it is clearly showing up my IP address, but now configuring the proxy, now you must be understanding that why we people when try to pen test any website or anything like that, why we go ahead and change our IP addresses, why we go ahead and why we configure our own proxy system out there. Because you can see that my system is connected to the server, you can say, in which it is clearly saying that this is my IP address right there. So when you're doing any kind of pen testing into a corporate level, don't feel any shy. Go ahead and ask your lead for the different proxy in order to execute a lot of attacks out there, right? So this means when I have connected it right here, which means what I can do right now, basically I can do anything right now that I was doing right here. Like right now I was in this directory, but if I talk about my shell, that where is my shell right now? So if I go ahead and write pwd, then you can see that I've got the direct connection from the server where my website is hosted. And you can see that I'm inside the var www, and this directory is right here. So if I go ahead and write cd, and then if I try to rotate inside any directory, suppose if I want to go in dvwa directory, vulnerabilities, or any directory, I can do almost anything right here. So this is one thing. If I go ahead and write ls, then you can see that it is showing me index.php, source, help, and these kind of files are right here. So this was a very basic level of attack of DVWA, in which I told you, in which I taught you that how you can basically fire some arbitrary commands and can get the connection of the server inside your Kali Linux machine. Now, this is why I was telling people that Kali Linux is one of the finest operating systems. So it is really amazing if you're getting the whole connection of the server directly inside your terminal. So you can do pretty any damage you can do. You can just write here as rm command, and suppose you just delete all the files of the website, you just download them, do anything you wish. So this was a quick attack that was related to command injection. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in next 2 minutes, and then we are going to breach the medium and higher level of this attack. Okay. If you don't passport, it will, okay, seems like, sir, how to hide their IP address found. You're gonna have to use your own proxy. Later on, I'll teach you that how you can configure your manual proxy as well. Okay, seems like not much questions, and people are just solving down, sorting out their questions on their own, which is really happy to see that. I'm really happy that we are working here as a team. It's just not an instructor and tutor thing that is going on right here. We are working as a team, and everybody is just talking onto the chat section as well. So it's really good to help other folks out there. Okay, so this was a very basic level of attack that I taught you. Now we are going to go ahead and we are going to proceed on to the medium level of vulnerability out there, right? So let's go ahead and breach the medium level of vulnerability. Okay, so okay, seems like this thing is done. In order to exit this, you're gonna have to press Control plus C. So Control plus C is done. I have lost my contact. So, just not hacking is the thing. You gotta have to maintain the connection as well, right? So first of all, you gather the information about what kind of technology is being used. Then you try to breach it. And once you try to breach it, then also the connection will be closed. Maintaining the connection is also a task in hacking. One of the tasks that is really important out there, right? So this is one kind of attack, but the medium and the higher level of attacks are not much, you can say, not much heavy, you can say. They have a very small trick, but I'm just trying to make you sort it out, or I'm just trying to make you to solve all the attacks that are written here onto every level. So now we have successfully passed this level of security. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to visit DVWA. We are done with the lower level. We are going to change our level to the medium now. I'm going to click on submit. Now you can see that now you have a new level of security right here. Right. Let's go ahead. Let's go back to command injection again. Okay. So now into the first time we have, okay, I forgot to write the command. I think I should write them so that you can fire them later on into the notes. So the command that I've fired just now into the DVWA. Command injection, easy level. Into the command injection, easy level. You're gonna go with 192 dot, or maybe I can say your IP address to ping, and the second command is this one. Okay, so this is the command that you need to fire into the command injection easy level. Now we are going to take a level further in this case. Okay, so now in this case, we are going to breach it to the next level of security. So let's go ahead and start my netcat services again. So in order to start your netcat services, it must be clear to you all by now, and it's a very easy command to learn as well, that you gotta have to start the netcat services with the word browse, and with -L and -P you're defining the port. So -P you're defining the port, and port 8080. Okay, again listening onto my port 8080. Okay, seems like it is done. So into the second case, into the second scenario, what I would like to tell you is that there is not much change in here. But in this case, there is nothing but just we are just going to play around with a piping methodology, you can say, right? So with the help of piping methodology, we are going to execute our command, because in some of the cases, let's go ahead and let me tell you the source code of it. There you'll be able to understand it more. You can also put some restricted methodology. For example, you can see that into the array, they have set the blacklist into the code. So basically into the PHP, you can also set a list of blacklist commands that a user cannot fire inside any input box. Or if you are putting or executing any input box anywhere into your website, that you must be developing a lot of websites out there, and you must be doing a lot of things out there, but I'm pretty 100% sure that you are not setting any blacklist in here. So you're gonna have to set the blacklist. Otherwise, if you're, if you're just developing anything onto the website that has the input form, definitely someone like me can come up and can execute the command injection shell right there, right? So if you are developing anything with input box, don't forget this blacklist option right here. So in this case, we are able to see the code openly because this is why this lab is meant to be. It is going to show you the wrong type of code as well. And it is going to show you if you're forgetting something. So usually people forget about the piping command. Like you can see that into the substitution, into the array that they have defined blacklist, that you cannot use end operators, and you cannot also use this command as well, that we have used it into our last easy level of challenge, right? But I can clearly see that you don't have piping in here, right? So in a lot of cases, developers forget to use and forget to put piping into their blacklist. So let's go ahead and try this. So I'm gonna do here is 192.168.1.2, and I am going to execute the piping in here. So just for the demonstration, let's go ahead and try for pwd command. So for the pwd command, I'm going to click on submit. So you can see that it's working right here. So now I told you into the piping, only the second command is going to get executed. So I'm going to put it. So basically, I'm just using the arbitrary commands that I've taught you into the Linux. I'm just using them in here, and you can see that a vulnerability can be taken out from this as well. That's quite interesting out there. Okay, we have successfully done this thing. But right now, what I would like to do, that I would like to make a connection over my Netcat services again as well, right? So if I talk about the command injection medium level, make sure you try them once on your own. It will really give you a good confidence, and it is really a good feeling of accomplishment when you try and complete all of these challenges. So if I talk about the medium level, then again, you're gonna write down your IP address, and then you are going to do the piping. And again, if you are looking to get a connection onto the Netcat server, then nc-e to execute /bin/sh and then 192.168.1.2. And again, port 8080. The command is going to be same, exactly same, but we are using different methodology according to the blacklisting out here, right? So let's go ahead and write the same command into my DVWA. Like you can see that already my Netcat services are opened up. They are listing all kind of services right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and reload this. Okay, it's right here. Fine. So now, like I told you, okay, I can see that it is again showing me this thing. Okay, seems like fresh now. Okay, 192.168.1.2, and then the piping command, right? And then finally my netcat command, right? So my netcat command is nc-e to execute it. It is there into bin sh. So bin sh, right? And then the command of my operating system's IP address, that is 192.168.1.2, and then the port number is 8080. I'm going to hit enter, and then again I am connected onto the medium level of security. I'm connected onto this web app, DVWA web app again. So I have successfully made this connection again. So the medium level of security is easy, but I'm telling you, the hardest level of security is the most foolish one into this lab. But I'm telling you, DVWA is one of the most famous lab for beginners, and this is what will build up your basics, and this is what will build up your your level to think that how you can connect the dots of two attacks at a time, and then how you can execute them. Okay, So this medium level of security is done. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask. Else, let's go ahead and reach the higher level of security. So using polyglots, can we evade this? Nope. Ping is not working in DVWA, just giving IP error. Fine. This is the first live class. I have gone through a couple of previous recordings. I'm unable to install Linux. Can you please share the WhatsApp link? Please ping me on Instagram, that is Saksham the Computer Guy, or just write down me an email on saksham@ineuron.ai, and there I'll be sharing you the WhatsApp group link. Command injection works on input box. Command injection or these kind of attacks work anywhere where, the main work of how do I tell you? I can define you like this, that if we talk about the penetration testing, so why do we call it as a penetration testing? If we go ahead and do the security audit, then these terms are the process, but the whole process is pen testing. The full form of pen testing is penetration testing. So you'll find the ways to penetrate inside the web app. It could be related to input field, or it could be inside your packets as well. It could be anywhere. I'm just teaching you the attacks. You can find out the parameters in order to penetrate these kind of attacks by any X number of things into the website. You just have to find a way where your command can reach to the server and it can be authenticated back to your. So this is the basic thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and exploit the final level of this thing. Okay, so DVWA, let's go ahead and let's go to high, submit, and let's go back to command injection. Okay, it's high in here. Okay, so into the highest level of security, there is a very foolish thing that they have been doing in here. That foolish thing is that, they have just inserted one gap in here. Though they in the array, they have restricted everything in there, but I have no clue why they have, I have no clue why they have even, made this kind of source code that is quite foolish out there. But anyways, we are going to sort it down as well. So now what we are going to do is that I'm going to go back to my source code. Okay, if I check out the blacklist column this time, then you have all of these commands into the blacklist. Now, if you are, executing any kind of input field in any of the web app, then I believe that you should put these kind of blacklist token with the substitutions command into the, PHP file. So these are the tokens, but I have no clue why have why they have given some extra spaces in there, right? Into the piping, why they have given extra spaces, I have no clue, just to make it tricky. But it doesn't make any sense in there. But what you can do is that you can still do the piping, but you need to give one space for the piping. In this case, the space is already given over there, so we are going to omit that space that I've just now shown you a few seconds back. So we are going to write here is 192.168.1.12, and then with the piping, okay, no space in the piping this time, and I'm going to write here as PWD. So I'm going to click on submit. Let's see if I'm going to get the input. Input that I'm looking, yes, I'm getting the input. So the output is right here. Input is successfully accepted. It was just about the space thing into the final level of execution into the real life scenario. You don't see such weird logic that the developer has given this some extra space or something like that. But this is, they are already defined into this the DVWA lab, which is why we gotta have to use it like this only. So I'm going to write the same methodology, and also I'm going to tell you that how I believe this code review section must be clear to you all. This is the set of code, substitution, and then equals, and then array, and then you gotta have to define all of these black letters, because This is what I'm telling you. Now, when the website is listed on HackerOne or Bugcrowd, they must be a big MNC already, which is why they are listed over there. But there are a lot of websites that are getting audited every day in this world, and they are doing these kind of mistakes. This is one of the most findable mistake, you can say. So I'm going to make a connection again with the netcat command, of course, netcat -vv -l-p and port 8080, listening to it. And then I'm going to execute the same command that was here, but without the space, right? So into command injection, high level, I'm going to write here your IP address. Without any space in piping, I'm going to execute the netcat command here. So bin sh, and then the IP address, that is, in my case, it is 192.168.1.2, and then port 8080. So this is what I'm going to fire into the final level. So what I'm going to write here is 192.168.1.2, piping exactly after piping without any space, netcat-e for executing netcat. Bin sh is where the netcat is hosted. Bin sh is right here. And then the IP address, right? So the IP address is 192.168.1.2, and then my port number. So it should be connected here. Let's click on submit. And let's wait for it. Seems like it is not getting connected in here. All right. Then I believe into the final level, it is not allowing us to make a shell out of the netcat commands, right? Okay, then I have one more tip for you guys. Let's not, because we have successfully completed the challenge actually. Just it is not getting connected to our netcat, but like I told you, this is not working. So I'm going to remove it from the notes. So what is working in this scenario into the final level? It's working like 192.168.1.2 without any space pwd. This is giving you output. You're not getting any connection from the netcat into the final level. They must have taken care about it. But there is one more thing that you can do, is that you can directly jump onto the default password files, right? So this is there. This is also there in all the etc folder of Linux. So these are coming up from the experiences that I have. So 192.168, because if you will find such a way to solve DVWA anywhere else onto the internet, they will not tell you that how badly we can exploit it. They are just going to tell you that, okay, this is going to get solved like this, but how to exploit it further, that's the basic art. Because hacking is just not a set of instructions, it is the logical art that how you exploit it and how badly you can exploit it later on. 1.2 192.168.1.2, and there is one file that is named as etc /pass wd, right? And this is going to show up with a cat command. So this is one of the command that you can try, that is called as a cat command, in order to catch your etc passwd file. By default, this passwd file is already there. You don't find the passwords of the user and these kind of things. No, it is not that file. But with the help of this file, you can find the default passwords of the systems and the configuration. So if I go ahead and try to click on submit, then let's see what's going to happen. Okay. So now you can see that you can basically find the logs in here. For example, you have system admin, and these kind of things, like admin was the username, PostgreSQL, what kind of database logins, database user login, and these kind of things are right here. So this is also one of the command. So I think I should better be writing into the notes so that you can try it later on as well. So in order to go ahead with this, you're gonna go for 192.168.1.2, and then with the cat command, you're gonna go with etc / no, you're gonna go with etc / pass wd. Right. So this is what you are going to fire. I'm going to save this note for the command injection. Let me go ahead and save it up. And then later on, I'll just share you this file. So basically, in short, if we talk about what exactly the command injection is used to get the connection of the server via arbitrary commands. And by the help of arbitrary command, we can get the reverse connection of the server with the help of netcat services. Netcat services was just a higher level of exploitation technique. Even if you are getting the response from the server as an IP address, or maybe as the shell, or like if you're getting any kind of response directly from the server of your arbitrary commands, then it is a command injection. What I've taught you with the help of netcat is the post-exploitation technique. We call it as a post-exploitation technique because you have exploited already if you are getting the response from the server of your web app where your web app is hosted, right? So this was a quick post-exploitation technique. So, okay, so Brajesh, there is no logic actually. I couldn't find the logic behind DVWA. It's just DVWA have made it tricky onto the final level. There is no technique over there. It's really a very illogical thing that these DVWA guys has done onto the final level. I believe only the starting and the medium level was good. You can use any other port as well, but port 8080 is responsible for any kind of communication, which is why we are using port 8080 for the netcat connections. What about trim, which is given in the help? I didn't find it useful. For high-level security, yes, for high-level security, we have done this command injection. Blacklisting or whitelisting of character, which is better? I believe blacklisting. It should be listing on their server as also. Yes, it is listing on their server as well. Sir, for impossible, for impossible, you cannot breach impossible. That's why it's impossible, right? So what you can do is in impossible. Okay, so what we can do in impossible is that we can do a code review in impossible. So in order to find the most secure coding possibility in this way, so if I go ahead and security level set to impossible, and it is also written here that you won't be able to exploit the impossible thing because that is the most secure way found in order to write that code. If I go ahead and find the view source, so where is the dialog box for view source? Dialog box for view source is not opening up, I believe. But in case, just for your knowledge, onto the final level, we have seen that the extra space is what they have given for the piping. You're going to have to remove that. Else, that was the most secure way of writing the code in this case. No, there is no way that the netcat is uninstalled from the system of Linux. You can remove those front-end validation on attack. Yes, you can. Can we hit on 443? You can hit on 443, but I recommend 8080 for the best communication thing out there. All right, so this was all about one of the attack that we have completed today. That is command injection. I believe we have completed this securely. let's go ahead and check out the curriculum and let's see what progress we have done so far in this course. So let's go ahead and check out the curriculum. And then after checking out the curriculum, we are going to take a quick water break so that you can be back again in order to learn the tag number 2 for today with some more zeal and more power. Okay, so into the curriculum, I believe all of these all of these sections are completed. Setting up, welcome, Linux, core fundamental, web pen testing, burp, reconnaissance we are done. Getting started with testing environment done. Command injection is done. Brute force I'm going to tell you into the end of this section. Insecure session management and cookie manipulation. I've told you about the Netflix. I'm going to give you a quick refresher in this course about insecure session management as well. And then we are going to jump onto CSRF. We'll try to achieve two more things in today's session, that is CSRF, because CSRF is really a detailed attack out there. It will take quite a while to understand CSRF. So we'll try to complete till here. Insecure session management and CSRF. Tomorrow, most probably, I'll try to make you cover up the file upload vulnerability and FLI, file inclusion, and we'll try to start the SQL injection. I believe I'll be able to complete this DVWA by 3 sessions today, tomorrow, and Saturday of the next week, right? So I'll try to complete the DVWA by then, and then you will see that what are the attacks that are going on right now. There are token exploitation, password reset endpoint, path traversal. These are crazy attacks. So I'm giving you a quick 15-minute break till 4:45, right? So last time I forgot to give you a break, but break time till 4:45. I'll see you back again exactly at 4:45. Till the time, you can just have a quick water or something and ease yourself up. Okay, till the time, a lot of people are asking for WhatsApp group. So I believe I'm gonna have to, I'm just going to give you a quick link of the WhatsApp group maybe. Hmm. Okay, yes. Somebody has sent us the WhatsApp group link. Okay, so here is the WhatsApp group link. Feel free to just connect in here. And we have a dedicated team. You must be observing it already. We are just, uh, solving your doubts even at 3 a.m. in the midnight, or whenever you are just feeling any doubt, just feel free to take a Skype session or put it up over the WhatsApp group. But that's it. I'll connect you back again exactly after a 10-minute of break, 4:45 exactly. Till the time, ease yourself up. All right, welcome back, everyone. So now we have success. I hope my audio and video is coming all fine. Just give me a quick response. All right, perfect. All right, so welcome back to this session. I hope you enjoyed your break. So whenever you learn this attack, or whenever you learn any kind of attack, that attack is incompleted when you don't go ahead a mile, and you don't check any of the real life scenario, which is why I wanted to bring you in your habit to go ahead and try for any incident report and try to understand it. One of the very uh, famous incident report that I would like to tell you was XXE OpenID. That was again a remote code execution, and it was written onto the website of Ubercomp. XXE remote code execution. I guess it was found on the server of Facebook. See, the amount of bounty, when you try to hurt the server of the web app where it is hosted, then you get hell lot of bounties, minimum $33,000, which is why I told you that this is a basic level of server based attack. Later on, you can, execute it with your own logic, and later on you can find a higher level of execution of these kind of attacks. Yes, this is the report. This is just an example that how much people are getting in order to find these attacks, because this is one of the most severe attack. Practically you are getting the access of whole server in your hands, which is really a scary part out there. So I'm sending you the link of this report. So basically, XXE in OpenID, one bug to rule them all. How I found a remote execution RCE. So basically, this is RCE attack, remote code execution. So you are remotely executing the code basically. So these kind of attacks are really good out there. I'm sending you the link of this, and I'm going to tell you one more source where you'll be able to find the real life scenario of these kind of attacks. So the resource that I've told you in order to find the such attacks are h1.nopt.de. So this is the URL, that is h1.nopt.de. This is also what I've given you all. So you can find here, we have just now remote code execution. We have just now learned about the command injection, right? Which is the smaller part of remote code execution. So you can find out such attacks into the reports. If they are available, it will be shown to you. Okay, so OS command injection. Again, I can see a lot of reports right here, which means this attack is still found onto a lot of websites till now as well. So you can also try these kind of reports. You can also try hitting these kind of attacks as well, because as you can see onto this is basically the unofficial HackerOne disclosure timeline, right? So basically this is the unofficial website where you are going to see the open reports. So this is command injection on mail.ru. It's command injection. See, somebody has done reflected accesses with the help of command injection. So sometimes you join two attacks in order to execute one. So see, you're finding on the internet Ruby, Notepad++. So there is no bar to find the attacks, right? Even onto the Notepad++, people are finding it. .NET SMTP command injection is also a good thing, but that is only working on Ruby. Right. So these are the two interesting reports that you can have a look at. OS command injection on c.ru, right? So basically, that's the best part to read about these reports. You have all of these MP4 files that you can download. In these MP4 files, you'll see a complete demonstration on how they have executed this attack, and how they have go ahead and found this execution attack on mail.ru. So don't worry, I'm going to give you this thing. So you can see that he's taking the help of, Bob suit, you can say. Like he's checking the response in there. See, you're getting the response in here, right? So these kind of attacks is also what you can check. So you can just have a very detailed, study of these reports related to command injection. I'm going to send you the link of this one as well. And this is also one of the command injection, but I believe this is not open. They have disclosed this report. So you can skip that. So on to the Jolokia mail.ru gaming network it is. So this is the one thing that you can see. Now, this is the actual methodology in order to learn any attack of this world. You just go ahead and find out that why you gotta have to learn this attack. Then you're gonna learn that what is going to be the impact of this attack and on which parameter on actually you are trying to hit with that with the help of that attack. You just have to set the right parameter. Suppose you're hitting some attack and you don't know where that attack is going on, then it is not at all of the use. Now you know that if you are hitting command injection, it is going directly and it is getting penetrated inside the network, then it's really good and happening out there. After you are done learning the attack, make sure you read at least 2 to 3 real life scenarios. Once you will do that, and then voila, you are all done and ready to play around with these attacks into the live scenario on bug crowd on HackerOne. So this is the treasures of attack basically. As much attacks you will learn, as much possibility of the bounty you will have. You cannot find the bounty by just learning 1 or 2 attacks. You gotta have to learn at least 30 to 40 attacks. And don't worry, we have covered at least 25 to 30 attacks in this course. So at least you have a treasure full of 30, 40 attacks. And then eventually with time, you can learn more of the things on your own. Another good news that we are currently working on to the corporate level of CTF thing. You must have heard about capture the flags. And I really got this idea that a lot of students are getting really excited for CTF. So which is why we are soon getting collaborated with a lot of big organizations that are going to give the CTF labs to you for the free of cost in purchasing our courses. So soon we are bringing up a new exclusive course related to CTF, that is Catch the Flag. That is even the extreme level of hacking. So basically you find the flags anywhere into the every level and onto the every stage onto the CTF. You can find such flags even in the packets, even in the request, even in the response. So if you are going to go ahead and stand up for the big companies, for the interviews of big companies, CTF is also one of the part that you can face. So you gotta have to stay ready for that. So which is why we are bringing up a complete course related to CTF. But still, there are a lot of days in which we are going to announce that. Yes, anyone can join this, but I recommend people to not to join it directly who are not attending this bootcamp of mine. You must have observed that I take people from scratch. I build them, I make them powerful, and then I take them to the next level. That's the best process to learn anything. So here I've made your fundamental. Now we are talking about attacks, and then we are going to talk about advanced level attacks, and then you'll be able to make much more sense into the CTF. If you will not learn all of these, then the CTF will go a bouncer on your head. So I really don't want that. So which is why I recommend only the professional users or only the professional pen testers or only the professional pen testers to join that course. But again, we are going to take at least 20 to 25 days in order to, start working and talk about that course. But let's go ahead and jump on to the in recording. How do you find these links? It's missed. How to find these links, or it's missed into the recording, but don't worry, I keep on giving them the resource. I keep on writing them over the notepad, but definitely there is a difference. If you're missing the live classes, you are missing the fun. So yes, that's the thing. All right, I believe we are done after this quick break, and I think we should now jump on to one of the most happening attack out there, that is called as CSRF, right? So let's talk about CSRF. What exactly the CSRF is and how does the CSRF actually works? Here it is. But before I jump onto CSRF, Let me change this level of impossible. I believe we are done with this netcat service. So I believe we should stop listening to this port with Control C. Let's go ahead and cancel this. Okay, so the next vulnerability that I'm going to talk about is CSRF. Now, just going to give you a quick update again related to CSRF. If you will see h1.norm.de on CSRF, then again, you will have a lot of reports related to CSRF. People are still finding CSRF into a great amount on HackerOne and BugCrowd. So yes, this is definitely one of the attack that if you'll read about 10-15 reports of this after learning this attack, then I'm pretty sure you're all prepared to execute this attack on one of the websites that are listed on BugCrowd and HackerOne. HackerOne is basically for professionals. That's what I believe. If you are finding any kind of bug on HackerOne or BugCrowd, make sure you jump onto the websites that are newly listed, because if the websites are not newly listed, you have the less chance to find the bugs. So make sure you directly don't jump and bang your head over the Google or Facebook directly. Just find the bugs onto the new websites. Every day new websites are getting listed on HackerOne and BugCrowd, so make sure you are the first one to grab them up. So this is how you can get the bounty. Okay, so if I talk about the tag that we are about to learn is CSRF, if I go ahead and try this. So you can see that the CSRF is right here on Sniper, Genofence, Shiraro's mail.ru on Twitter. Somebody has, found a login CSRF. This is a great thing out there. LiberPay, GretiPay is also quite famous, CSRF token and these kind of things, right? So you have tons of reports for CSRF. Okay, so we are going to talk about the reports later on, but for a while, let's go ahead and see what exactly the CSRF is. So now CSRF stands for cross-site request forgery. Okay, so how CSRF is working actually? You must have seen a lot of links floating around over the Facebook, Twitter, and into a lot of platforms in which you go ahead and click on that link. But the moment you click on that link is spreaded all around. That link is spreaded onto your timeline of Facebook, or maybe the messages are being sent on to a lot of different people that are added into your friend list. This is one of the CSRF attack, but it is on to the whole new next level on Facebook. You may find the low level of CSRF attack. The advanced level of CSRF attack is XSRF. We are going to read that later on onto the second part of this course, in which I told you that we are going to learn a lot of things related to advanced level. But right now we are going to talk about CSR. Also, we are going to do this attack manually. You can also try executing this attack over the burp suite, but doing it manually will make a lot of sense right here, because sometimes these automated tools are not there to work correctly. Okay, so how the CSRF attack is being done? Suppose you are a user. You submit a token. Token will take care of for you a lot of things. For example, if you want to update any information, then what will happen? If you want to update this information, you'll get an authorization token to update your information, and then it will be passed to your server, right? But in some cases, you are not getting any authorized token to update your form, update your information in the form. That form could be, when you update your password as well, that is also done inside the input form. When you store any kind of name or like emails into a lot of websites, even the emails are there into the input form as well. So in such cases, the server, in some cases, server is not taking the authentication from the token. This is also the methodology flaw by a programmer. He's not asking the server to take the authentication. He's taking the authentication just by seeing if the values are right or not, right? So if the server is not taking the authorization, then what we can do is that we can create a form, a forgery form, you can say, into our local environment, and we can host that forgery form that I'm talking about exactly in the same fashion that your token is designed under your website, like exact input form. The location where the input form needs to be submitted will be same exactly as well. But that can only be done into the case when the authorization from the cookies and token is not being done. Right? So now we are going to do something like that. We are going to forge a form that is there onto the DVWA. And we are going to check out if any third party is going to give us the authentication for submitting that form, or if that form is getting submitted on the basis of the true values. Because a lot of in like most of the cases this is happening, and the advanced level of attacks that I'm talking about. So in that case, uh, what actually happens? Uh, okay, seems like everything is stable here. All right. So I hope my audio and video is coming all fine again. Okay. So let's go ahead and try to forge this form once again. So let's go back to DVWA. If we talk about a quick practical methodology, that how is this working? Then on to the step one, we develop and exploit URL or the script, right? So we develop and exploit URL or script, right? So how you can create a link? You can easily create a link. You can just host any of your file, even onto the local server, you can host that file. And if you go ahead and try to, if you go ahead and try to send that link to your friend, and if he is going to click on that link, for example, if I host my exploitable form for you all, and if suppose you are logged in inside your DVWA session, so the moment you will click on that link, the password of everyone who is watching me live here, if you click on that link, it will automatically change the password of your DVWA. So this is what we are going to attempt here. And step two, we can also trick the victim with auto submission. Auto submission is the neatest trick. This is the advanced level that I'm going to teach. You are not going to find this anywhere onto the internet. I'm going to tell you a quick JavaScript methodology in which you don't need to ask the user to, if I'm going to give you a vulnerable link, and then you'll be asking the user that, hey, click on submit button. He'll eventually think that, there is something, mischievous going on right here. Why is he telling me to submit that form, or something like that? So in that case, I'm going to tell you a quick JavaScript code in which the auto submission will be done. So you don't need to take care about submitting the form. It will be done with the help of our dear JavaScript, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and try to build that form, right? So in order to go ahead and build that form, let's go ahead and first of all, try to move into the CSRF. And you can see that CSRF is right here. So you can see that in this challenge, they are asking me to forge a CSRF form to force the CSRF form right here with a new password and confirm new password. So basically what they are trying to do is that if I'll change the password here, the password of my DVWA will be changed, right? So right now my password is password by default of my DVWA. So the new password that I'm typing is PASSWORD1. PASSWORD1. Let's go ahead and try to change this. Then you can see that the password is successfully changed. Let's go ahead and log out. Let's see if my new password is password1. Password1, right. So the password of the whole DVWA is changed when you try and attempt this CSRF thing right here. Okay, seems legit. Now, how to forge this form? Forging this form is also a task right here, right? So how you're gonna forge this form? If you have read a little bit about HTML and CSS, then you must be knowing that the form gets submitted somewhere, right? So let's check out that where this form is getting submitted. You can easily find that out, and you can definitely clone that out as well. So if I go ahead and try to clone this form, because I'm going to clone this form, and then I'm going to design it in such a way that it is going to get auto submitted. This is going to be our ultimate aim. So the form will be the form will be submitted from the second origin, right? It is not submitted from the form developed by the first origin, that is the website. It is developed by some second party, that could be me, and they should not accept the form. The server should not accept the form to be submitted with the second party or third party, you can say. So let's go ahead and try to clone it. What I'm going to do, first thing that I'm going to do is inspect element. Now I right clicked onto this new password. I'm going to do this again. Just right click here and click on inspect element. Right? The inspect element is right here. Okay. Also here into the console, you can see a lot of errors, warning, logs, info, debugs, XHR request, style editor, performance, you have a lot of tools into the developer sections as well. Into the network, you can check the response or anything that you are getting in here, right? So you keep an eye on to the developer section. But anyways, we were here into the inspector right here. Now, this is just the field. What I'm looking for is this complete form. So you can see form action, and then the hash is here. And then you have the method get. These things are here. So in order to just get, I'm just going to scrape the whole HTML of this form section. So I'm going to right click in here, and I am going to click on edit as HTML. So when I do that by clicking on form, just the HTML of form is right here in front of me. I'm going to scrape it up right here. Right. So I've copied this code, and I'm going to open a notepad, or you can say text editor. Okay. So it's right here. Okay. So now what we are going to do, that we are going to check out that, the form action, we don't know where it is getting submitted. Then the method is get, and new password, and these kind of things are right here, right? So first of all, the thing that I'm going to hunt is that where this form is getting submitted. You can inspect that very deeply with the help of Bob suite, or even just by observing the changes into the URL, right? So right now I'm going to hunt that up. So for that, I'll have to change my password again. Last time I changed the password to password1. I'm going to put it into the password again, so that I can see if there are some changes while I submit the form in here. So if I change my password, when I click on change, see observe the change into the URL. Or if you'll just intercept it with the help of Burp suite, you will see that where exactly this form is getting submitted. If I click on change, then it says change. So I believe it is getting updated. Okay, let's go ahead and take whole of this link out to inspect that what is this going on right here. Okay, so let's insert all of the link at the time where it was shown where my password was changed. All right, so now I know that the password is getting submitted somewhere in here, right, into the CSRF. This is not the directory where it is getting submitted, so it is not at all useful for us. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to put it till directory where it is getting submitted. I don't care about the methodology into the URL. So I'm going to remove it out. Now I know that my forms are getting submitted inside the CSRF, which brings me to a conclusion to that if the form where I have inserted the URL of the action button, or you can say the action submission. Let's see if I'm going to host it locally, and if it is hosted locally, should it actually change the password of my whole DBWA? Because it is not hosted onto the same server. I'm going to host it locally, just in an HTML file, not even in a local host, right? So I'm going to save it up. Okay, so saving it up as csrf.html on my desktop, or I can save it in my documents. Let's save it in here. Okay, so it's right here. Okay, so now you can see that it's now colorful a little bit because it is saved as an HTML file. So this is the CSRF HTML file that I've saved in my documents. I've done only one thing. I've just changed the link of submission right here, right? So if I minimize it, let's go ahead and let me find out where this file is being saved. So now you can see that my password was changed. The new password is password, as you can see broadly into the screen as well. So I'm gonna refresh it. So it's looking like a new fresh in here. Okay, so what happens when I go into the places and I go into the documents, and I guess this is the file that I have taken just now. Trying to minimize it, but I guess it's lagging a bit. Okay. So with a lot of Fs, this was my CSRF file, you can say. This was my file. What if I open up this file in here into my browser, right? So if I have a look at this into the browser, then you can see that I have only extracted the form fields in which the new password is there, the confirm password is there, and the change button was there. And I have also inserted the submission part in there as well. So I've also submitted the form action link where the passwords are getting updated. But you can see that it is hosted under my file, home, Saksham documents, right? So it should not give impact, or the server should not accept the changes that doesn't belongs to the URL where your web app is hosted. But it is not even hosted there. Still, the server is looking to respond. How? I'll just show you. See, the password is not changed here. See, everything is looking fine here, fresh. So the new password that I'm changing is going to be, let's say, let me go ahead with this guy. So Johnny Depp is what I'm writing as my new password. Johnny Depp. If I click on submit, then you can see that with the third policy, I mean, with a third party or even the second party, the form is getting updated because that URL doesn't even belongs to there, but still the server is accepting it. So this is the flaw of CSRF. Now, if I go ahead and log out, and let's see if my password is really changed just with that HTML file because it is accepted by the server, then it's really a bizarre out there. So my new password should be this one, Johnny Depp, right? So I'm going to write here as Johnny Depp, or not here, it's the username admin. Going to write here as Johnny Depp. So now you can see that the new password is Johnny Depp. So this is how you change the CSRF. I mean, basically this is the CSRF. If you'll keep it till here only, then also it will be acknowledged as a CSRF attack. So basically, the second origin policy is not applied here. If the correct tokens are applied in here, then this attack must not have been executed in this case. But right now, this seems a little boring for me, because it is getting submitted, but we want to go on an extreme level. And go on to the extreme level, what we are going to do is that we are just going to modify the form a little bit. And into the starting, I also mentioned that how I'm going to modify the form a little bit so that it can get auto submitted. It should look like a neat proof form, because the user is not going to go ahead, and when you'll say, hey, submit the form, or when you'll see that when the user will see that like this is not the same URL of the form that that is of the website, and of course he'll just notice the URL and he'll figure out that it is a phishing link or something like that, which will not let him to change the password. But what I can do, I can play around with it. For example, let me go ahead and edit it. Open with other application, text editor. Okay, so let me go ahead and edit it. Let me just design this form that it will pop up into the browser, and within fraction of seconds it will be auto submitted and it will be vanished, like boom, right? So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, that I'm going to review my whole form and I'm going to modify it manually with the help of my programming skills, so that you can try it later on. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the code of this. Somebody please click a picture when I'm done using this, and send it to the WhatsApp group, though I'm going to attach this file as a resource for sure. So the form ID is CSRF in here. Okay, the action is this one. Action is the link, method is get, seems like. Okay, so the input type is hidden, autocomplete off, new password. I guess this is not the correct file. This was my file, csrf.ftml, which is why I got amazed that how come the ID is here. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is that we'll do this later on. Form action, the correct link is there. Method is get, and then input type is password. I don't want to show anything to the user, right? Not even that form, nothing should be shown to the user. He should not even get to know about it, which is why instead of password, I'm writing here as the hidden attribute of HTML. Autocomplete off, name, password new. That's great. And then the value, what I'm going to do into the value, I'm going to give a new password, that is 123123. I've defined the new password right here in this form only, so that I don't have to open up that form again and again. I give the chance to a user to understand that what is happening around. Right. Basically, our ultimate motto is that I just don't want to show any kind of thing to the user. It should like prompt like boom, gone, and the password is changed. Right when the moment you just open that file, and then boom, the password is changed. So likewise, if you can host such files, and suppose if any of your friend is clicking on that link, whenever he click on that link, and boom, the password is changed, right? So it should be like that into the level of hacking, you can say. Onto the level of just reporting the bugs, you can just report it like this only, that the CSRF is existing. I'm just teaching you the post exploitation technique right here, because post exploitation techniques are the one that makes you the extraordinary person into the field of information security, right? So I'm going to give the new value as 123 right? I think I don't even want to show this new password text along with break row tag. I don't even want to show him this confirm new password text as well. It should seem like a blank thing to him. Input type is hidden again. Not gonna show any kind of input type to him. Autocomplete of, name is password and underscore confirm. I'm going to define a new value as well, like I've designed in here, because make sure it is exactly same like this value, because here in this box, if you remember, it is confirming the password, right? So what I'm going to write here is value equals, and in inverted commas, I'm going to confirm my password, right? So this is being done. Okay. So password configuration, the value is 123, 123, 123. That's it. I'm going to remove this break row again. I just don't want to show anything to the user. Input type, I think I should change the input type completely because I don't even want to show him a submit button. I'll be doing that submit thing manually with the help of my JavaScript skills. The user doesn't need to see anything at all in this hack, you can say. So input type, input type could be hidden again, and the value can change, the name can change, the form, right? So let's see how is this form looking like now. So I believe I have, let's have a look at this form, what we are, because we have basically everything is looking like hidden in here, right? So it is getting redirected over there. Okay, the password is changed. This is the file that we have developed. Okay, so now this is the file that we have developed. We have made some changes in here of CSRF.html. Okay, so now everything seems so blank, but we know that behind the bar, the code is running up, right? And it is going to change the password to the new password. But I by mistakenly opened up this file, but anyways, it is not going to mess up in here. So now everything seems like a ghost in here, but there is only one thing that I need to do, that it is not getting auto submitted. You're not able to see form or anything at all, but it is not getting auto submitted. That's the problem in here, right? So I was here into the CSRF section. Okay. So the moment I should open up this file, it should say password changed. Right now, it is not changing up because I have not put it here a function of JavaScript by which it can be auto submitted. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed towards the progress of making the custom CSRF form. So I'm going to go into the text editor again, right? Into the text editor, first of all, I'm going to apply some JavaScript, just a single line of JavaScript. Even if you don't know JavaScript, that's pretty much okay. It is a bit logical, so you'll be able to understand. So likewise, you must have read it into the, if you have heard about CSS, you give everything an ID, or either you give the classes to them. So in this case, in order to grab any single attribute, or you can say, in this case, I'm going to grab the attribute of form, just the form, right? So I'm going to grab that attribute of form by which I'm going to give an ID, right? So in this case, I'm going to give an ID as CSRF, right? So the ID here is CSRF. Now, if I'll grab the ID CSRF, then my form will be, form attribute will be, you can say, can be triggered by any of the programming language later on. I can grab that attribute by the ID CSRF. How? I'm going to do that with the help of JavaScript, right? So now we know that we execute JavaScript with the help of a script tag, right? And you just start the script tag and you end the script tags in JavaScript, right? Everything is written under the script tag into the JavaScript, right? Right here, what I want my document to get auto submitted, right? To get auto submitted, first of all, I want my document to, first of all, I need to grab this ID. If you want to grab this ID, this ID is called as an element in JavaScript, right? And you can see that everything is in a camel case in JavaScript. Camel case means the first letter is going to be small. The rest of the letters of the starting word are going to be into the capital letter. So in order to grab this ID is what I want to grab of this document. So which is why I've written here as document.get element, right? So I'm going to get this element is what I'm going to get. So this element I'm going to get by the help of ID, right? So I'm going to write here get element by ID, right? So this is the camel casing that I was talking about. First letter is small in JavaScript always, and then you have the camel cases. Like into the camel, you have the smaller thing from the front, and then it gets bigger with the humps. So it is following the same pattern. So G small, E capital, B capital, I capital with the help of ID. Now which ID? I need to call that ID right here in a function. So everything is defined in a function inside a bracket and the single quote in JavaScript. So I'm going to call my ID in here, right? So ID is CSRF, not the capital CSRF, it is small CSRF. Make sure it's case sensitive. I'm going to write here as dot submit for auto submitting it. So this is the function of the JavaScript, and you're going to end the script like this, right? So this is the code that you need to write here. Script document dot get element by ID, give it a ID, and dot submit for auto submission. So basically you have given the ID to your form. The name of that ID of that form is CSRF, and then you are grabbing it all by the help of document dot get element by ID. I'm going to click on save. Right now, the moment 123 was the new password that I've given. So the moment when I'll look at here very carefully, the moment when I'll open that form, and boom, the password is changed. So this is going to happen very quickly. So make sure you keep a good eye in here. So if I go again to my documents and I hunt for this file. So look at here, everything is going to, the password change is just a prompt that directly you're going to see. So when I open this CSRF, I'm going to double click on it, on the file that we have just now created, that is csrff.html, double click, and boom, password changed. Now we know what's the new password. Likewise, you can make custom forms for changing your email IDs as well. Suppose if I change the email ID of your account, then pretty much it is pretty much possible that your whole account is hijacked. Your password can be changed, your name can be changed, your personal information can be changed, your status can be changed. Basically, we can write anything you want onto any of your personal account. So which is really scary out there. So this was a quick attack that I wanted to tell you. CSRF is still super trendy. Even if we talk about it on HackerOne, on BugCrowd, again, it is playing a good, an important part onto the input form again, that is there into the HTML. So this was a quick CSRF attack. Now, how to stop it? Now, if you are, see what happens if you are logging inside a session, then the cookies, or you can say the session is created and it should be destroyed. It should not bring the same sessions again and again. So this is one of the things that they are not doing in this case, which is why they are having this CSRF vulnerability. So I hope this is clear to you all that what exactly the CSRF is. And if you have any questions or doubts, feel free to ask. Else, that's it for today's class. That's what we are going to try today. You are going to try to attack today. That is your command injection, and the second one is CSRF. Read a lot of reports regarding it and get started with HackerOne or BugCrowd. Okay, how they protect against CSRF. I've just now told you that if they are changing the sessions again and again with every login, then it is not possible. Document.get element by ID, CSRF.get auto submitted. Yeah, only submit function will also work. What makes CSRF different from IDO? Into the CSRF, you have cross origin policy, cookies. Like IDOR is completely different. So we are going to check out the IDOR as well in this session. Into the upcoming attacks, into the advanced level of attacks, we are going to explore IDOR. If method is post, can we know where the form is submitted? Yes, you can know where the form is submitted by intercepting it into the verb suite as well. Can this be done on Angular or React? It can be done on any application at all, because here you have the post method or get method, which is basically common into the Angular application, into the React applications as well. And the second thing is that here you are playing from JavaScript again, in which the Angular is framework of JavaScript again and React again by submitting the form. So yes, it is going to work in all of that. Okay, so that's it for, we are not checking hard level or medium level. We are not checking hard level of or medium level of this attack, because the reason is into the advanced level of attack, it is done with the help of stored accesses. So once we are done exploring the stored accesses, then we are going to jump onto the harder and the medium level of this attack. How this attack can be fixed? Just change the token once you are logged in and just destroy the token when the user is logged out. Have you received a mail, Sir Rohit? I haven't yet checked out the email, but definitely I will. Can this be done? Okay, we are checking how this attack can be. Okay, done. So seems like I'm not receiving more queries. If you have any more queries, feel free to ask. Else, that's it for today's session. I hope you have enjoyed both of these attacks. Make sure you try them at home, else it will be of no use. And make sure you read a lot of reports, because if you are looking to become a bug bounty player, then it's gonna be like 80% of learning and 20% of time in executing the attacks, or maybe like 60 or 70% of learning and 30 and 40% of time in executing the attacks. So a lot of reports, a lot of learning, and a lot of executions. What if they are using CSRF token? If they are using, so basically CSRF token is made to stop the CSRF only. So if they are using CSRF token, then it is secure. Okay, any more questions? Feel free to ask, else, we have a WhatsApp group going on. At what time we have session tomorrow? Today it was showing as 4 p.m. but logged in the session already. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Actually, there was some glitch from the team side. By mistakenly, they have written 4 over there. But session every day, every time, I'm definitely super disciplined in taking these classes of our DS students. Every day I come up at 3 and I sign it up by 5:30 or maybe 6, depends upon the attack and the content. Anyway, we can bypass it. No, we cannot. All right. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session. I'll see you again tomorrow with some more interesting attacks. We are going to have some more attacks tomorrow on. But that's it for today's class. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'll see you again tomorrow.